Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
I'm Amy with a Y.
And I'm Amy with an I. Sorry, I was taking a drink.
Don't do that. We're just two blueberries floating in a bowl of tomato soup, and some of us are drinking tomato soup, apparently.
Or whiskey, but whatever.
No,
yeah.
Whatever. Could go either way. We're on episode
24.
24? 24. Mm-hmm. That's a good year. I liked being 24.
Yeah.
Kind of. Well, I ended up getting married when I was 24, so.
I'd already been married for 5 years, amateur.
Yeah, I know. I'm the worst. You already had a kid by 24.
I did.
Yeah.
I'd have a kid by 24.
I had to wait till 27. So tonight we are, well, wait, before we launch into what we're going to talk about, the number one question that has been on everyone's mind, Laurel or Yanni?
I have not heard it yet.
What?
I know.
Get on board. So
but I still picked a fight with you on the internet.
Of course you did, because and you didn't even listen to it.
I didn't pick a fight about that. I was talking about the dress still.
Oh God, the dress was white and gold.
It was blue and brown.
Get over it. I will die on this hill. Now, the audio clip, I heard both Laurel and Yanni, depending on the time of day I was listening to it. So I think that's witchcraft. Or I'm a mutant. I have some sort of super... Like last night I listened to it, and this was all on the same iPhone at the same volume, playing the exact same clip, like nothing changed. But last night I heard Laurel, clearly, like Laurel.
Right.
This morning I heard Yanni. And then I listened to it about an hour later and I heard Laurel. And then I listened to it again like an hour after that and I heard Yanni. So it flips every single time I listen to it.
That's
what
super
the fuck is up with
bizarre.
that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I played it for my dad today. He stopped out at work and totally blew his mind too. He heard Laurel as well.
Well, I saw the article about it that Nathan shared.
Yeah,
and,
I saw that.
And it was breaking down by the different frequencies or something, and how you hear it based on different things. And I wasn't going to go through all of these things because I was, I'm
it's
tired.
Boring science
and
stuff,
and I just
basically
I wanted to get my
frequency
drink on. So.
Playing at, but it's done. Anyway, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, the correct answer is both. It's both of them.
What is it supposed to be?
Laurel.
Okay.
Apparently it was recorded as Laurel. So I got an email. Well, we got an email, but I checked the email. So I got an email about a week or two ago from another podcaster who had heard about our podcast through the Dumb
His
All
name
Over
is
podcast.
Jan? Is it a soft J?
Juan. I think it's Juan.
I don't know how to pronounce my J's.
Something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But he had heard about us through that funny review I wrote for the Dumb All Over podcast, which they read on air.
That's how it came.
I know. See, I'm a fucking marketing mastermind.
Apparently.
I wrote that knowing they'd read it on the air and that people would listen to our show.
We got Patreons from our ad on Cogdis, so
that's
hello.
right. Yeah. Hey, we will shill the shit out of this show.
Oh, yeah.
I can't pronounce sh sound.
Sorry, Jan.
Sorry, Jan. So anyway, he emailed us and asked a little bit about our editor because he thought that our editing was pretty good. So I told him about our fabulous editor, Rich.
We don't need much editing, though, because we are just
we're pretty good at it.
Yeah, we're pretty great.
Yeah.
This is pretty much how we are.
There's not a whole lot of air.
There isn't a huge gap of time where I was at the front door.
No, there's nothing like that. We don't, or kids yelling in the background or none of that shit. So this John is his name, and he does the Brand X podcast, and he had been wanting to do
the other guy. I don't know his name.
Deuce.
Okay,
I'm guessing that's his Christian name. Deuce.
I would imagine so.
Sounds like a God-given name. So it's these two guys, and he'd been wanting to do a segment on their show where they kind of review other podcasts or like introduce a podcast they like to their audience.
Clever angle.
Right. So he decided he was going to do Secular Soup first for that podcast thing. And so he told me he was doing this, and we've been kind of emailing back and forth. Seems like a nice guy. And so they recorded it.
Have you reached the stage in emailing where you start exchanging pictures?
Not yet. No.
Or is that not okay? I'm just wondering. Because that's where things always go with me. Like, let me see a full picture of you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, that's why I check the email and you don't.
Doctor.
So, yeah, the Instagram is all you. So I don't know what you're doing over there, but it's probably all dick pics.
I'm about to link it to my Tinder account. I'm just kidding.
I keep the email clean.
Okay, fine.
So
you do.
I listened to their review they did of us, and it was fantastic because not only did they, kind of give us a good review, but they devolved into an epic fight over Donald Trump. We
caused a fist fight on air, basically.
We broke up that bromance.
I am so excited about that. That made me laugh so hard.
I couldn't be prouder.
Even at the point where we got called stupid bitches or something. I was.
Yeah, I think you got called a dumb bitch.
Probably.
I don't really remember. I mean, one of us got called a dumb bitch.
Has he met me? Because that's spot on.
So they pulled audio from our show to play on their show, which surprised me. Like, they pulled a lot of clips, and it was a well done review. So I spent today actually doing some podcast homework and went through and found the clips that I would like to play from their show. So this is John, the podcast host, describing what he thinks our podcast is, kind of in a nutshell.
Okay, good, because this is my favorite part.
Me too.
Yay.
You remember MTV back in the day? They used to have that commercial, or that cartoon, Daria.
Yeah.
This, to me, is what would happen if Daria and, what was the other girl's name? Jane. If they grew up and started a podcast, that's what this podcast would be.
That made me smile so hard because she was my favorite.
I know.
And okay, so you remember back in the day, or like not back in the day, like last year or the year before, when it was 3 fictional characters that describe you, and you kind of imagined like which 3 fictional characters describe you. My 3 fictional characters that describe me are Agent Scully, Daria, and Anne of Green Gables. I'm a compilation of those 3 fictional characters, so that is like spot on.
Mine were Daria, Leslie Knope, and I can't remember what the third one was now, but I know I had Daria and Leslie Knope, and then I think the girl from Bob's Burgers, the older one, Tina from Bob's Burgers was the other.
I can see that. Yeah, the picture I found of Agent Scully, it had a closed captioning underneath it. It said skeptical sign, and she was rolling her eyes. I'm like, yes, that's me.
No, I remember when Daria first came out because I'm that old, but
me too.
I
watched
loved it so much.
I paused it. My mom's visiting and she's super Mormon, but I paused it and I was like, Mom, we were just described as if Daria and Jane made a podcast. And she was like, oh, I remember that show. Yeah, I could see that. And I was like, yeah, right.
I was so
Mormon
Daria
mom thumbs
back in
up,
the day.
guys.
Yes, I loved it. So I think he is spot on with that. He actually did a lot of, he listened to a bunch of the episodes.
He subscribed. Like, we have a listener now.
Yeah, a whole listener. Like, that's pretty cool. That's more than I thought we'd get when we started this.
Yeah.
So anyway, one more than I thought we'd have that weren't friends of mine personally before the show happened. So.
Yeah, or someone I'm not sleeping with every single listener.
Just most of them.
Don't have time for all that.
98% of them. Okay,
everybody else is like, well, which one is it? Because I know it's not me.
It's definitely not me.
Spoiler, it's none of you.
Yeah, that was one of the things they said in their review was that John said something like he thought when he first started listening, he just had us pegged as total, radical leftist SJW lesbians trying to hide our desires from each other.
Latent lesbianism.
Like, yeah, no, that's not.
But then he said the more he listened, the more he actually liked us, and we changed his mind on some things. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, we did, which that is my whole goal in life. So one other thing I really thought was spot on and funny is, so Deuce, the co-host, only listened to one episode, and it was our healthcare episode where we talked about how fucking sick we are.
Our bodies are train wrecks. He called, he said he did.
Definitely.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, He's like, I couldn't even pronounce the words they said. They were just rolling off their tongues, which means, it's kind of terrifying to me.
Yeah. So I'm going to play the clip.
One thing I did learn is it sounds like they're genetically inferior, because I never heard two people that are young that are so medically fucked up. Well, I mean, it was just like, wow, this is depressing.
Yeah, because I mean, it was like Amy with an I, like she had 3 kids, and
like 100 years ago, they would have never made it to teenage years. They would have just died off.
Yeah, I played that one because I have had that same thought so many fucking times.
I would have died my first pregnancy. Oh, yeah. There's no question.
I would have died at age 17 if this were 100 years ago. Nobody would have known what was wrong with me, and I would just be dead. And I don't feel any particular way about that. It's just the reality.
Yeah, when he said I was genetically inferior, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I didn't even share like half my shit. Like, wow, I thought
there's a lot more wrong with us than
I edited quite a bit. So if he only knew,
we're so much more fucked up than you even realize.
We are the next generation of humans. Mm-hmm. And our cells are taking a beating, so we're passing on superior genes.
Yeah, so our kids can be super mutants and survive.
It's like licking dirt when you're a baby to get your immune system battered, and so you're all tough and strong. We're basically the battered immune systems.
Yep.
So the next generations following us are going to be tough as all get out. So maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as a parent, I love the lick dirt philosophy because I don't like cleaning or keeping a close eye on my kids. So them eating dirt was totally cool with me. Like, whatever keeps you happy.
I was pretty meticulous with my first kid. Like, he would throw his pacifier somewhere, and I was like, no. And I carried little alcohol wipes, like the prep pads, and I would alcohol wipe swab his pacifier, and then I'd let it dry completely, and I'd hand it back to him so he was like sanitized and clean. And then the second kid, he would throw it, and I was like, it depends on where he threw it. If he threw it well,
like if there's cat hair all over it,
well, yeah,
I'd rinse it off
wipe
in the
it
sink,
off on your pants.
I just don't. With my first kid, you were still supposed to sterilize the bottles, and I didn't even do that very long because fuck that. So they're absolutely right. We would have died off so quickly about 100 years ago. So thank you, Big Pharma. Shout out to Big Pharma.
What?
Okay, so they did this great review where they were, for the most part, really praising us.
50% of them liked us.
50% of them really like our show.
The other 50% thought we were dumb bitches.
Other 50% wasn't a fan, and that's okay.
But you know what? He's also a man, so we're working on you guys.
We're hard to understand if you have a man brain because you can't.
And he's not going to listen to this episode because he's all set. Like he's already correct in everything he knows and does. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't need to listen to dumb bitches.
No, we are dumb bitches. So, so after their review, it quickly devolves into
it's like basically
a fight over Donald Trump. They just totally forget about the podcast. So it's a lot like our podcast. They just go off on a tangent and forget about what they were talking about.
And then they're like, "This is why we can't talk about politics."
Yeah,
they are on opposite ends of the spectrum. Although John says he's conservative, he's pretty moderate conservative, and Deuce seems like he's pretty Tea Party, Trump loving. Like he's pretty far over. He's all the way in the right. Like they made a new corner in the right just for him.
Yeah,
like and he John thought Sarah Palin was smart. Like I mean, I.
Oh wait, no, that's my next clip. Ready? Hold on. You're going through my. See, we share a brain. These are all the exact same things I picked up. Okay, hold on. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
The problem being was as soon as she opened her mouth, she was a big dummy. In my opinion, she was a big dummy. And here's I'm thinking, this guy's old, okay? And he's going to take a stressful job as the president.
You're saying she's a big dummy.
You asked me a question. Am I allowed to answer the question?
Give me an example of why she's a big dummy.
Again, it's been so long. She opened her mouth and she made speeches.
Okay, so they were talking about Sarah Palin.
Yes, they were.
For the record,
I don't disagree with that. She is a big dummy.
Sarah Palin is a big fucking dummy. And to help John out a little bit, because he was kind of on the spot. And so Deuce was asking him, well, produce some examples of how she, and, you know, John couldn't think of any. Because when you're on the spot like that, I'm the same way. I can't think of anything specific off the top of my head. So I went and found an article that I will link in the show notes, just for you, John, that is entitled 10 of Sarah Palin's Most Amazingly Stupid Quotes. So it just has a nice list of 10 quotes. The first one listed on here is, "Can I get a hallelujah? Right-wingin', bitter clingin', proud clingers of our guns, our God, and our religions and our Constitution. And they've been wearing this political correctness kind of like a suicide vest. On Korean tensions, but obviously we've got to stand with our North Korean allies." So it's basically just a long list of dumb shit Sarah Palin has said. And she is just demonstrably stupid.
She doesn't fact
She just
check.
is.
And she doesn't know what she's talking about.
She's not bright. And if you want to argue that that doesn't matter and that you don't have to be smart to be in politics, okay, that can be a valid argument. But to argue that Sarah Palin is not fundamentally stupid makes no sense to me, because anybody with eyeballs and ears...
That would be like saying that Trump isn't fundamentally stupid.
I mean, Trump is fundamentally stupid. How is this an argument? Like, you can agree with his stance on things, but that doesn't make him not an idiot. Like, he just is. And I don't know when we got to this point in politics where it was the cool thing not to be smart. Like, I want a president who's smarter than I am. Because
that's how I felt with Obama. Like, he's someone that if we sat down side by side and took a test, I'm pretty sure I'd get a lower score than him.
Yeah, I mean,
if Trump takes a test, I'd have to make sure that he's holding the crayon correctly.
Right. And I mean, again, you can disagree with policy opinions and whether you think they're good people or not, but I don't think it's a controversial statement to say that Obama was just more intelligent than Trump is. How is that controversial? I don't understand that.
It's apparently it is, because people.
I mean,
if he was supposed to be this diabolical manipulator with this grand scheme to, you know, create one world order, he'd have to be smart, even though that's a massive conspiracy. I mean, he'd have to be a smart person in order to, you know, make it happen.
Let's get to the next clip because it goes into the Obama thing more. So
the reason that he's having so much issues now is because he circumvented Congress with all these presidential.
Right. That's the Obama legacy.
Right. So, and now what happens is Trump can go back and just undo everything he did.
So you didn't feel...
so he didn't go through Congress. He just felt like he couldn't get through Congress. He couldn't get anything through Congress. So he just made executive order after executive order. And now everything's getting unwound. And it's like he wasn't even president.
And the economy's booming. Things are moving in the right direction.
And then here's the other thing. I told you.
Unemployment's at 3.9%.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, I hear all that.
Last year, me and Diane made $250,000 in our 401k just because Trump was in it. Awesome sauce.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start.
I got schmishmorsed this year, so can I say that's because of Trump too?
It is.
Like,
we all know that's because of Trump. You've been sleeping with him for like 2 years, so.
Shh. Not when we're talking about another show.
Oh my God. Yeah, I looked up the unemployment rate because I wasn't sure if that was an accurate figure or not, but it is. He's right. Unemployment is at 3.9%. But that doesn't make it Trump's achievement. It's a complex
how long
economic.
Does it take? Yeah, how long does it take for something to take effect after a president?
Well, a while, and even then, unemployment rates aren't necessarily a function of whether you're a good president or not. Even if whether the unemployment rates are good or bad doesn't say a lot about whether you're a good president or not, because unemployment rates are affected by so many different parts of the economy that it's not like Trump can just turn a switch and be like, see what I did there? Look at all these new jobs.
Gonna.
I guess. I did find a couple of articles here. One from Fortune magazine. I tried not to find very liberal sources. Fake news. But I did find an article from Fortune magazine about the Trump presidency and his economic report card, and basically about how the things that are going well in the economy aren't because he did anything to make them good. Yeah. Like it's a long article that I'm not going to go into length on because it's boring, but I'll link it in the show notes if anyone wants to read it. And then I found a CNN article on executive orders. The thing about executive orders is the reason that Obama had to do that is because he could not get anything through Congress at all. And Mitch McConnell made it a point to just not do anything Obama wanted to. Like, he wouldn't have been able to get anything through Congress because they were in charge and he couldn't. That's why he did executive orders. That doesn't mean that executive orders are necessarily good or bad, but Trump has done more executive orders. I did another article here about how he's on track to do like more executive orders than any other president in history based on the rate he's been doing them. And most of Obama's came towards the end of his second term as president because he hadn't been able to get anything passed. Yeah. Trump's just been doing it right out of the gate.
Well, he knew that the way he's going to get his core constituents, if that's the right phrasing, this is my second whiskey. So his core constituents in his corner and hopefully to vote for him again is to basically make it like Obama never was in office, because they hated that Muslim libertard or whatever he said. I hate those words.
I know.
So I mean that's how he's described.
Well, yeah, everybody hated Obama so much that he can go in and say, "Look, I'm undoing everything Obama did," and that was
look at me. I'm actually doing something when all he's doing is actually hurting things.
Yeah,
and I don't agree with all of everything Obama did either. Honestly,
no, nobody does.
Okay, seriously, the drones were.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So unnecessary. Like it was.
Yep.
It was just.
And he could have done. I feel like Obama could have done a lot more about prison reform.
I agree, and I didn't like Obamacare either, dude. I
wanted single payer.
He pushed it out, and it was because he just wanted to have something to package and put out. It wasn't ready. It's not what was needed, and it's actually something that is not something that people below the poverty line can afford.
No, and it's solving the wrong problem. He tried to solve the entire system we have is wrong. We have a system that treats healthcare like a commodity.
Well, we've already solved this problem. If we take all the straight white men and we ship them to Canada,
right?
We've gotten like most of the problems fixed.
Well, for sure.
Wait, hey, Deuce, are you a single straight white man? Or no, I know you're not single. He's married. Okay, so you're a cis straight white man.
I don't think he knows what cis means. Ooh, was that too harsh?
No, he's not going to listen to it anyway. John, explain what cis means to your friend. Google it if you need to. I'm sure he knows. Actually, he seems like he's learned.
Yeah,
and up on terms.
A hep cat.
He might have to Google on fleek though, but I had to do that the other day, and I felt
I still don't know what it means. I just keep using it
refers to eyebrows when they're just spot on. Yeah. Your eyebrows.
Anyway,
are bleak.
Cis straight white dudes.
Yeah, ship them to Canada.
You have a point there? Yeah, they do only, but I don't think that's fair. I think they need to stay here, and we should all go to Canada because I want that free healthcare. I'm not going to lie. People are nicer, and they have free healthcare. I've been trying to get.
Or are they Mormon nice?
Oh, true. I think they're genuinely nicer. I think they're genuinely better people. I'm not basing that on anything other than my own opinion. So take that for what it's worth.
So basically it's fact.
It's fact, yeah, because it's what I think. Okay. No, healthcare is a clusterfuck. Believe we're two sick broads. Like we know it's
and
bad.
My healthcare went away when I signed that dotted line. So I'm basically fucked. And so yeah,
I'm
and I
lucky that I
work bunches of part-time jobs, and they're all over like, oh yeah, we really appreciate your education and experience, but how about 20 hours a week?
Well, if you would just work harder and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, then you would deserve health care.
You know, I've even tried smiling too. And
yeah,
you know,
it's only so effective. That's the thing.
That's that's the tangent I'm going to take in a minute when we're done with all this shit.
No, that's fine.
I have a day at work.
Healthcare, if you don't believe people, if you think people need to work hard enough to get good healthcare, then I just can't even discuss it with you because I don't fundamentally believe that. And that's where I'm at. That's why I don't agree with Obamacare, because I don't think it went far enough. I think we need single payer healthcare. I think that's, and I've done a lot of reading and research on this, and that's what I think the only thing is that's going to make it more level for everybody. Right now, if you get sick, it's up to, if you even have insurance, it's up to your insurer to decide what kind of care you get. So I get so tired of hearing, well, do you want the government deciding? Well, I'd rather have the government than fucking Blue Cross Blue Shield. So, because at least the government isn't trying to make a profit off of my being sick. That's a whole tangent. Anyway, so then we move on to Israel. So they were talking about, you know, what a total fucking loser Obama was and how nobody was afraid of him, and that was the problem with him. So then they get off on this kind of tangent about Israel. So I'm going to play that.
Yeah.
Because before the feckless wonder was in there, okay, Israel knew that they had allies that they could count on. They didn't have the United States as an ally that they can count on with President Dickless in there for 8 years. So every time Hezbollah or Hamas or Syria or Iran attacked them, they were basically told from the Obama administration, oh, don't do nothing.
Yeah, stand down. Yeah. Again,
now it's like, hey, we know that we've got an ally we can count on. And they went in and they specifically targeted those sites and they took them out.
Okay, so...
You know, if you sit there and call someone names, your argument's irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
Like, we haven't said anything about, you know... it just kind of makes your argument.
Having or not having dicks. I don't want to go too much into Israel because I am not an expert on Israeli-Palestinian foreign policy.
What's the equivalent for a female? Like a ovarian-less?
Cervix-less?
Clitless?
Clitless? I guess it would be clitless.
Rolls right off your tongue.
It really does. I'm not going to expound on Israel because I wouldn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I did find an article that, again, I will link in the show notes, that is from the National Jewish Democratic Council, something like that, talking about what a great ally Obama was for the Israeli government. And
I believe it
goes into a lot of detail. And that's honestly one other thing that I didn't like about Obama. I think... again, with my limited knowledge on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, I know as much as I guess anybody else does. They need to stop treating the Palestinians like shit. Kind of my feeling. I know it's more nuanced than that, but I don't think that us taking a stance of everything Israel does is great no matter what, and we will always be their ally. I don't think that's the best course to take. I think a more nuanced approach would be better. And I think every president we've had hasn't had that nuanced. It's just been, well, Palestinians bad, suicide bombers, Israel good. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'll link that article in the show notes in case anybody wants to read more about it. It's something you could learn about all day long. And so let me find my next quote, which is, I think, my favorite. Is this the
impeachable offense?
Close. Yes, okay. It is. Hold on. Because we share a fucking brain.
Apparently. I'm not even listening to your side of the podcast and I still know what you're talking about. So.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Listen, I pray you're right. People
won't admit that he's I am even shocked that he's a better president than I thought he was going to be initially. He's done so much stuff right, but no one would. You know what? The Democrats have nothing to hang their hat on.
Because he shoots himself when it's okay. You know why?
They have nothing. Forget about the tweet.
He's a jerk off. That's what he is. He's a jerk off.
Okay,
but he's doing a good job.
That's a personal. That's a personal assessment.
It's hard to root for a jerk off.
The next clip I have is the impeach Trump part, but everything is great. Really? Is it? Like, everything is great if you've already been coasting along through life with a decent job. And
yeah, as long as you're not, elderly or poor or,
or gay
minority
or female or black or sick or anything that would put you in a shittier position in society than somebody who's had
privilege.
Relative
I know that for
privilege
lack of a better word, because that word really rubs people the wrong way. I'm sorry, they are snowflakes. Like, we keep getting called snowflakes, but seriously.
Yeah, you're privileged, and it's hard to see that privilege. I get it, because I have privilege, and it was hard for me to recognize that I had it.
Yeah.
But I do, and
I've talked about it before. I mean, we've talked about it before.
We've talked about it.
We're straight and we're white, and
and we're we're middle class ish.
I don't think I am anymore.
I'm not anymore either, but I was for a long time. So yeah, but
I still have the accoutrements from the time that I was privileged. So.
Well, yeah, and when you're
in that regard, privilege in that regard, as far as financially privileged, yes.
When you are Trump's target audience of people that he wants to benefit, then yeah, everything's going to feel like it's pretty great. That's all I'm saying. Like when you're not somebody who he's targeting, when you're not a gay person, when you're not a woman who needs an abortion, when you're not somebody who's poor, then yeah, things are
someone
probably
who just wants to use the bathroom that they feel they want to
without getting murdered or beat up. That they just want to
have
fucking
like
pee
a
and be comfortable.
Crotch monitor or whatever they were going to do. That was disgusting.
Monitor. Oh my god.
I don't know what they were. I don't know what the conservatives thought that was going to happen, like with the bathroom monitors or some kind of.
I don't get why they're so fucking terrified. Are they terrified they're going to accidentally see a penis?
How many times do you go in the bathroom and just hang out? And they're like, well, what are they going to see? Okay, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you use the bathroom out in public, as do I.
Occasionally.
How often have you seen someone naked from the waist down in the bathroom?
Literally
without asking for it nicely first.
Never.
0% of the times, right?
Especially in women's bathrooms.
Thank you.
They're all stalls. We don't have urinals. Have you
thought about the children, though? Have you thought
That's
about
true.
the children?
I have children, and I've had to use public restrooms with them, and
what if it's ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
I feel bad for everybody else.
About that. I'm like, this is absolutely stupid.
Especially, if you're I am much more comfortable sending my kid. I have 2 boys, and I would much rather send them into a women's room knowing full well that a trans person is going to be in there than I do into the men's room not knowing at all who's going to be in there. Because they're in a lot more danger.
The men's rooms are disgusting.
Yeah, they're just...
Because they just pee everywhere. I don't know what they're doing with those things, but they're just sprayed everywhere. It's like male cats that aren't,
I've been into public restrooms that were like... If there's just a men's and women's room and the women's is full, I'll go in the men's. I don't give a shit.
I do it all the time. At the movie theater, I'll just go in. And you know what? No one stops me because I have, TNA, I guess. I don't know what's going on.
Because nobody gives a shit. Everybody just wants to pee and get out. Why is this even an issue?
And sometimes give a shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You do.
So, okay, next clip.
See, the way to defeat enemies is to be nice to them. Yeah, look how well that worked out.
I hear you.
That Iran deal.
But again, the guy...
was a disgrace.
The guy is like a drunk uncle at a wedding right now. He's, he might. And
I want to know how come they're not prosecuting John Kerry on the Logan Act.
Hey, listen, you want to know something? Let me ask you this, Mr. Smartass.
Smartass?
Yeah.
Wow.
Smartass. So right now, I would like to know why the Democrats are like, oh, we want to impeach Trump. We want to impeach Trump. He did 2 impeachable offenses. They could impeach him right now, but they're not pursuing it.
What?
Why not?
Okay, because they can't. Did I get that one right? We're not in power. Even if they wanted to impeach him, they can't. They don't have enough votes. So
true story. Because that's why they're doing things with Stormy and all the other things. Because that's what they can focus on. Yeah. They literally can't focus on anything else. They can't impeach
him. They don't have the votes. They're not in power. If they were in power and they were just complaining about it and not doing anything, that'd be one thing. But they're literally not in power right now. They do not have the votes to impeach this man. So, I mean, and I wanted to get to the whole defeating enemies by being nice to them. And this, that actually is the way to defeat enemies. I hate to break it to you, but like when you talk about torturing people, how do you get
tearing someone down works?
Yes. But like, if I'm interrogating you, if I'm a badass police officer and I'm interrogating someone, am I going to get more information out of you by being an asshole and, you know, threatening to beat you up? Or am I going to get more information by trying to connect with you and form a rapport with you and get you to trust me? And these are proven methods of how you get people to do things.
This leads right into my work drama. Okay, keep going.
Okay, no, I'm just saying that's like, I think that's the fundamental difference between the conservative mindset and the liberal mindset.
Well, because they just name call. I
mean, they name call and they think that the way to win is by cruelty and just being mean.
And they just don't have the facts on their side. I'm sorry. It's not.
Like, it's not just that
it's funny when science is called a liberal conspiracy, because once you call science a liberal conspiracy, you've lost.
Yeah. And that's the next clip that is on my list that I'm just not even going to play. I'll describe it. But basically, he says that liberals get all upset because Republican presidents, you know, when there's one president, they say he's the worst, and then another one comes along, and then he's even worse.
We sat there and said that we would have drinks with every single president except Trump, because we wouldn't. I literally said I wouldn't feel safe with Trump, but he didn't address that. He just said everybody always complains about the most current one in power. Well, and my thing is laughable and hilarious. It's like, no, I wouldn't feel safe as a woman. He's not taking it as females are not safe around him.
No, and I'm sorry, but the Republican presidents are getting worse. It's not.
What I heard was, just wait until the next one. I'm like, holy, how can it get worse than this?
But you know what?
Where are we going to go? Are we literally going to have like a dirty sock?
I thought that with George W. Bush. I truly thought it could not get worse. And then I saw Trump.
I liked him.
So, I mean, he's not wrong. We do keep screeching about how they're worse and worse, but it's because they're getting worse, not because our perception of them is getting worse. Like, Ronald Reagan, by today's standards, was a liberal.
Oh, for sure.
Like, the shit Ronald Reagan did would now be considered liberal, and he wouldn't be allowed into the GOP. The Republicans keep getting progressively more outrageous.
Isn't that around the time it flipped? Like, the parties kind of switched?
Early 80s, yeah. It was roughly in the 70s.
Because my grandfather was, hardcore Democrat.
Well, it was during civil rights, when they signed the civil rights legislation in 1964. That's basically when it flipped. Mm-hmm. But you didn't see the Republican policies really going into effect until Reagan. So the 80s is when everything started to go to shit or to get great, depending on your point of view.
You mean when people started making a lot of money?
Yeah.
And then trying to make policies to protect that money? And protect their cronies?
Yeah. Like, to me, that's all the Republican Party is anymore, is a bunch of rich fucks trying to protect their
If I were money. In the top, 5%, even not even the 1%, in the top 5% of income bracket, I absolutely would vote Republican every single time, because it would be protecting myself, my assets. But because I'm not, it goes against my best interest to even think about voting Republican.
See, but the thing is, I don't know that I think even if I were in the top, and I suppose it depends on if I were born into the top 5% or if I found myself there now.
It depends on if I was actually looking at social issues. Because if I were looking at social issues, of course I would I wouldn't change who I am.
Right.
But if I were thinking about financial gain, I have everything to gain by voting Republican.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's what I meant. I'm not saying I'm going to,
Like, I think even if I were rich, I would
after I vote for Trump for 4 more years, then I'll start voting liberal.
There you go.
I made a promise to God. So.
Yeah. Well, you can't break your promise to God.
Not after what Trump did to me in bed. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
So yeah, they go off on that thing, and then the whole fake news things come in, and then there's a thing about Hillary being the world's biggest crook. And my thing is, really, where's your evidence that Hillary's the biggest crook in politics? Have you heard about Richard Nixon? I don't. This idea that Hillary's the biggest crook in politics ever makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, show me some evidence for that. Sure, she's not perfect and she does political shit.
She was not the best candidate.
She was not the best candidate.
And we've even said that. I was a Bernie Sanders girl all the way, 100%.
Oh, me too.
There's no way I was going to give my vote.
But I live in the real world. Like,
there is no way I would give that man my vote.
Oh, fuck no.
And I wouldn't give him anything with my name next to it.
No. Well, except you keep sleeping with him, and I keep telling you not to do that because you're just promoting him. But
can't quit him.
But I guess you just really like the Donald D. What can I say?
Presidentialtinder.com.
Yeah. So basically, we broke up these guys' friendship, I think. That's not true. Great. I think they're fine, and they'll probably
I'm sure they've...
You think they're done for good? I don't know.
I hope so.
I think we broke them up for good.
I hope so. But and then all their listener can come and listen to us.
The parts where they talked about us were fine, but the parts where they were...
Too.
Yeah.
And they said our audio was good, and our editor sounded like we had good editing, which we do.
And that was when he first emailed me. He was complimenting Rich. He wanted to know who our editor was because he
liked our show.
Yeah, I was going to play the one criticism. Well, he had two criticisms, but I'm only going to play one.
It's my microphone.
Yeah, your microphone was one of them. So get your shit together, Amy.
2 turntables.
Oh, God, no puns. Okay.
Here's such a nerd.
Here's the one criticism that we will be fair because they did have a criticism. I will play this.
Yes, they did.
So Secular Soup, I enjoy it. I think they, if I can give them, okay, so there are some things I didn't like about their podcast. One of the things is they're constantly shilling Patreon. It's like, oh, please give us money, please give us money. God, nothing annoys me more than pandering for money.
Okay, so we're not going to stop doing that.
Yeah, you know what that reminds me of? How we need more money.
Did you know that we have a Patreon account? I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show before or not, but we have these different soup levels. No, the reason that we shill for Patreon so much, quite honestly, is because we would really like to be able to do this for at least a second income, if not a first income. And you know what?
Right. It is, we're just not making enough to even cover.
Oh no, we're not. We are coasting on favors at this point. We get free editing. Marissa hosts our podcast for free. This is all.
And then
favors.
I have to go out and sleep with every single patron, and I'm tired.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I don't have that.
You don't have the stamina anymore. You're getting older.
I was going to say I don't have stamina, but I do.
You do, but
I'm not as old as you.
You're getting pickier. Let's face it. Some people you're just not into.
Once you've gone Trump.
But yeah, I feel like, there's a lot of cough, male podcasters out there who do this for a living comfortably and love what they do and put out good content. And
Tom and Cecil.
Why do we have to
David Smalley used to, but
David Smalley. Why do we have to be shy about wanting to make money at this?
They have ads in the middle of their show. We don't have any glossy ads. We just say, hey,
give us some fucking money. I draw dicks on things for a living. We've established this. I actually don't, but we don't make a lot of money, and we would like to be able to do this more. I think it'd be great to put out 2-3 shows a week. That would be fun, but we can't do that because we're busy working and shit.
And we're moms. And
we're moms.
Harder.
Yeah,
our lives are just harder.
If we could throw more money at our kids to buy them more devices, then we could podcast more often.
So we could just ignore them better.
I could hire a nanny. I wouldn't even need to parent. I
wouldn't hire a nanny. I would just put a hat on my dog. It
true.
worked in Peter Pan, and those kids turned out fine.
We have bears in the woods. I could hire one of them.
Thank you.
They'd play with the kids all day long. It would be great.
And they're not going to let them start fires because I've seen that documentary.
That's true. They know all about fire safety.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, my kid broke his toe this week.
Oh my God, did we stay on topic?
No. My last Patreon shill
I'm
that I was
very
going to do.
disappointed in us.
I know. So I actually made myself a note here that says mention Patreon goal thing. So Amy and I came up with this brilliant idea for a Patreon goal. So, we're trying to drum up more business, get more patrons. This is for you, John. If you would just become a patron, we'd stop talking about it. No, we decided that...
no, we won't.
No, we totally won't.
But we'll take your money.
Gladly. We're capitalists, man. We're proud of that. Come on.
We shield the shit out of ourselves.
Conservative thing.
We have our Delightful Bitchcraft. We have our Etsy store.
Yeah, go to delightfulbitchcraft.com.
She sends dick bowls. Do you want a dick bowl, John? You know you want a dick bowl.
You know you want dicks all over that bowl. I've been painting dicks on bowls for days. Oh my God. And I just want some monetary compensation for that. Is that so much to ask? Anyway, Patreon goals. So Amy and I have come up with a goal Right now we are at roughly, I want to say 12 to 15 patrons, something like that. If we can get up to 25 patrons and any dollar amount, even if they're all $1 a month patrons, the minute that we hit 25 patrons, we will do a YouTube live stream podcast.
Yeah, we will.
And that's
I'm
not
going to
the
put my
best
face
part.
right up on the microphone.
That's not the best part. Not only will you get to see us and it will be delightful and we'll be live, but I will.
Thrill of your lives. I'll wear low cut shirt just for you guys.
I'll do that too, but mine won't be as good because I don't have cleavage. I have cleavage up to my eyebrows. You'll get Amy's cleavage, and I will drink alcohol for the first time in like 5 years. I don't drink ever. I'm a lightweight. We've established this. I will get drunk on YouTube. We will live stream this shit, and I don't know what I'm going to say because I'll be drunk, but it's going to be up there and everyone's going to see it, so we won't have a chance to edit anything out. So if we can get to 25 patrons, Amy and I will get drunk and go on YouTube live. Just
so I'm going to
saying.
have to start drinking at 2 p.m.
You're going to have to start drinking a lot earlier. I'm only going to need half a glass of wine, and I'll be in the fucking bag.
Okay, so, 3 bottles. Got it. Noted.
That is our newest Patreon goal. We'll see if we get there or not. I don't know. It's only $1 a month. Jesus Christ, people. Ugh. Worst. Anyway, if you can't do that, if you don't, you can always throw some money on PayPal. PayPalme.com, I think, /secular soup. I don't know. Go to
follow us on Instagram.
Go to delightfulbitchcraft.com and you can find everything because I took time to make a website and I would like to be monetarily compensated for that. No, I think I really think there's a little bit of sexism in the idea that women should just be doing things for other people and to care about other people and to take care of other people.
I don't want to.
Bitch, I want money. Come on.
Okay, so let me talk about this really fast.
What's your work
I'm going to go
thing?
off
Tell
my
me about your work thing.
So I work in an office and I like, I've said before, there's 8 women in the office. Mm-hmm. I like everybody I work with except one. Mm-hmm. And the big boss is out of town until June 4th, I believe. It's May 16th right now that we're recording. So she's out of town until June 4th. Today she started nitpicking like every single little mistake I've made since being hired on in the middle of February. And it's minor errors because I'm still learning the systems and it's a lot of moving parts. And my job is actually really fucking hard. Honestly, my job is hard. What I do is hard. I have 2 degrees to do it. I've talked about this before. I'm working on my 3rd to do the job that I do. And it is really hard. And I was just kind of thrown into it. I had to watch a couple videos on the systems because the systems are different in every, different office I've worked at. It's very difficult and it's a challenging job and it's, clients coming in and there's nonstop, just it's hard. And she's, you did this and you did that. And she was like combing through everything I've done since February and finding little teeny tiny errors. And today her thing was, I have too many phone calls, work-related phone calls, but part of my job is to create phone calls because I had to go back and I'm doing collections. And she said that I've had too many open, they're called encounters, but I've had too many open encounters. I'm like, that's part of my job description that was made by the owner of the company.
Right.
To do that. And she was like, yeah, right. Okay. So, but some of them are from March. So I just went back and left another voicemail with the same people and just changed it to today's date. Like literally all I did was move them to the top of the list. And I guess that appeased her. But then I heard her on the phone. I was in a different part and she's sitting there like listing all of my transgressions. So I think she's accumulating like a case to get me fired or something while the boss is away. So I think when the boss comes home, she's going to have like all these like, so I'm pretty much, I have to stand my ground. I have to make sure I don't make any errors. I have to like be like defensive all the time now. I can't be on my phone ever. She's on her phone. She's there 8 hours a day. She's on her phone the entire 4 hours I'm there.
Oh my God.
Because I'm part-time.
But I'm sure they're all work calls, right?
She's texting on Facebook. She's literally on Facebook because she's on, and then she takes 20-minute bathroom breaks like 3 or 4 times a day that I see. And I'm only there 4 hours a day.
Can't you find her on Facebook and like download all of her info and show how often she's logging in on Facebook?
We're not friends on Facebook.
I'm a sneaky bitch. I could be her friend on Facebook. I could be a mole.
No, but she'll see that you and I are friends.
Fuck, that's true.
But I went in and I saw, which friends we have in common. And I was like, of course she's friends with that. Whatever. Yeah. I'm like, oh, of course she knows that person. Of course she knows him. I'm like, oh, that guy's such an asshole. Of course she knows him. So, because it's, a small world. Yeah. When you live in a community, it's kind of a small world. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, why? Like, she's a good 8 years younger than me. I'm sitting there like, why? Like, why would you sit there and...
She sounds like an incredibly petty person.
Well, the thing is, this is what someone else told me that works there. Everybody else that works there is like, she does this to everybody. It's like a hazing process. I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
And they were like, because she's the one that interviewed me. And the girl called me one night and she was like, look, she's the one that interviewed you, which means she saw your resume and she's intimidated by you. Oh. I was like, oh, because I way undersold myself to get into that company. Yeah. Because I have, office manager experience. I have all this. I'm way overqualified for the job that I'm doing. Yeah. And I have 2 degrees and I'm like, 11 credits or 12 credits away from my 3rd. And I'm sitting like, I was like, I will take this amount because I just need to get my foot in the door. Yeah. And she's afraid I'm going to go after her job, but I don't want her fucking job. I've done that job before. Yeah. It's a nightmare. Mm-hmm. But, no. So
I can come kill her for you. Just saying.
It's just, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm 27 years old. Mm-hmm. And I do not, wait, don't laugh. Thank you. You bitch. Hey, it's not your birthday today, so I can call you a bitch today.
Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday.
And I did not call you a bitch all day.
No, you didn't.
Because I have restraint, because I'm a lady.
You are a lady.
So, so I'm 27 years old. I can do my job. I don't want someone treating me like I'm a child and I need to be like micromanaged. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty frustrating. I'm just going to start looking
That's
I'm
the
out.
thing. Like, we're both,
and maybe I'll find a place where I don't have to wear a stupid uniform.
I feel like we're both always hustling. Like, we're just always trying to figure out where, especially you with your divorce, just, shmishmorshe just happening.
I had to have a battle royale last night.
Oh, shit.
For a freaking lawnmower. Yeah. It's written in the decree that my lawnmower will be returned to my garage. And he's sitting there texting me, calling me petty because I was asking for what was written and signed and autographed and dated. And I'm like, hey, bring it over. And he's like, you're not going to use it tonight. I'm like, that's not what it says, though. It doesn't say only if she uses it tonight. It says because that's what you signed.
Because you know damn well you're not going to do it otherwise. So fucking bring it back, bitch. Ugh. I hate everybody in your life on your behalf. So, oh my God, yeah. And
I like everybody else in the office. That's the things I like everybody else. Yeah, but she's been there for 6 years and she's got the boss's ear, so I have to be real careful.
Could she have an untimely accident?
I don't know.
Maybe. Okay.
I just want to be able to do my job without having someone. And the things she found, it's like. She's like, I found a lot of errors. I'm like, you only told me about one.
Yeah.
So if you found a lot of errors, either you're just compiling them all and being sneaky about it, or you can bring it to my attention and say, hey, from now on, when you do this in this particular system, we do it this way.
Yeah.
Like
that's the grown-up way to do things is, hey, you may not have realized it. Here's how we do this. Okay, great, thanks. Like,
and I'm a smart chick, so I would get it and I would just fix it from now on. Like when she calls me out on things, I'm like, okay, and I just fix it immediately.
Yeah. The worst is when somebody thinks they catch you doing something that you screwed up, but you didn't.
They did that this morning. She totally did that this morning. I came into the office and there was a message, in my IM system. You can't do that. You did this, and I was like, no, I didn't actually. And I proved it. I was like, I did that on 5/14, and here's the proof of it. And they were like, oh, well, you entered in the wrong, portion in the documentation. I was like, okay, show me where I'm supposed to enter it. Yeah. They showed me. I was like, okay. I did what I was supposed to do. I did what I was trained to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't take it to the next step and make sure it was like consistent straight across the board, but I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. I actually, without going into too much detail, one of the businesses that I operate with my husband, we work with a larger corporation and they have a ticketing system where if you have an issue, you can, send them a ticket saying, hey, I need this done or I need that done. And they in their ticketing system on their website, there's like, you have to put in your email address, then you put in what your issue is, and then you put in like your invoice number. There's a field for that, and then there's a field for like the other number, the customer number, and then there's all these separate fields, right?
Yeah.
And I remember once I sent one of these tickets in and I said, hey, I need this thing done with this invoice. And I entered the invoice number and the customer number in the appropriate fields. Mm-hmm. And I get an email back from this person at the company, just a snarky ass email from this dude that was like, the next time you send a ticket, could you please put all of the information I need in the body of the text? Because I don't even know what the customer number is, and I don't like to have to touch these tickets more than once. And I was like, are you fucking...
Did you...
I screenshot
was your response
that shit.
Titled, listen, bitch?
I took a screenshot and I went into my fucking like UDoodle thing and red circled the fields that I had filled in with fucking arrows pointing to them and sent that shit back to him and was like, I guess I didn't realize that you needed me to re-enter information that you completely made separate fields for. Was I not supposed to do that? Why do you ask for this information in a separate field if I'm supposed to put... And I basically got a thing back that was like, you could tell he realized he fucked up. Because he was like one of the computer techs that this was his system. Like, what? Why the fuck did you make separate fields for it if you want... Don't yell at me because I did something wrong, fucker. You're the one that didn't read. Like, when people tell you did something wrong and you know you didn't, but you have to convince them of that, like... Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But when I'm not wrong...
Well, and I said I was sorry that I didn't do it, like...
But it's not your fault if they didn't
and I said,
train you
I did it the way I was trained. And she was like, I already showed you how to do it. She stood behind me, 2 days before I had done this particular thing. And she said, you click here. No, right there. And she's pointing at my screen. But because of her finger was like above it, I couldn't see the field.
Oh, for fuck's
And there was like glare. And I was like, okay. And then she said, click there, and hit enter. But she didn't tell me when I'm supposed to do that or what it was for. Like, it wasn't clear.
Yeah. So she's really bad at training.
She's done zero training, but the boss always says, if you have any questions, just ask her, because she and I share an office. Ugh. And of course we do.
Yeah.
And so it's like, just ask her if you have any questions. I'm like, oh, okay. No, I am anyone else in the office. Yeah. There's no way I'm going to ask her. No. Because when I do, she's like, fine.
Well, and she's going to keep a mental checklist of, she screwed this up, and she's just going to add it to her pile of shit she thinks you did wrong.
And here I'm thinking, because when I interviewed, my second interview was with the big boss, and that chick had interviewed me the first time, she told me, she really likes you, and she thinks that I should hire you. So I was sitting there thinking, okay, I made a good impression the first time around. She really likes me. So I get hired on thinking that this chick that shares my office likes me. Mm-hmm. And everybody else is like, be warned, be wary, watch out for her. She's a snake in the grass. I was like, but she likes me. Like, I'm okay. Yeah. And so I was just kind of chatty and friendly. And then I got pulled into the big boss's office. Like, she's only in the office like once a week or something. And she was like, you should probably keep your conversation to yourself, because she's actually a really quiet person. I was like, oh, no talking. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun.
No gum too? Like, is this like...
Are we in kindergarten now?
Seriously. So... I just sit there quietly in the corner, basically, and I'm just like, this bitch. Like, all day, I'm just sitting here like, this bitch.
Oh, my God.
I'm out. I can't stay there.
Which is why we need more Patreon money.
So, John, this is why. Ergo.
Yeah. Or, you know what? If you don't want to become a patron, buy some of our shit on Etsy. I just sold a Male Tears wine glass. Thanks, Larry.
The Male Tears wine glass, actually.
Yeah, Larry just bought the wine glass, and then I sold a Boss Ass Bitch wine glass to somebody that I actually know who's in town, so she can come pick it up and not have to pay shipping. And she gave me 2 more custom orders. I'm making her like a trinket dish and a drink bottle that I think have her husband's name on it, and it's like his motherfucking drink on the drink thing. I don't know. It's what we do. We write profanity on things. So if you would like custom orders, we can do that. Oh, one other thing I was going to mention aside from the Patreon thing, I would really like to get more like listener feedback on shit. If there's things you want us to talk about, send us an email, send us a message. You can even record a voice memo on your phone and email it to us if you're tech savvy.
Sure.
Unless you're Amy, and then you don't know how to do that. So,
I know how to do things on my phone.
if you're more tech savvy than Amy with an I, you could record a voice memo and email that shit to us, and we'll play it on the air because nobody else is sending us anything. So,
yeah.
I mean, you're getting in on the ground floor of this operation. Send us some voice message. We will talk about whatever you want to
I like how they called you the boss of the show, basically.
I thought that was kind of funny.
I kind of agree with that because I'm the one that's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but it was really your idea. So it
was my idea.
I'm kind of bossy and I take things over.
And I don't like having control because
I do.
I'm tired.
Hey, I'm the dom in this relationship. It's okay.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Too much information. Well, no, the thing is I am in control of every other aspect of my life all the time, always.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, go for it.
And
go for it.
I'm just bossy, so I don't mind doing it.
Like I said, my job is really freaking hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
And I have to have my brain on and now I have to be all defensive. Because I'm in there with a coiled snake.
Yeah. Now that I have my own business where I make zero money, at least I'm my own boss and I'm less stressed and when I'm not thinking about money. So I get to be creative during the day.
I have 2 job interviews coming up though. I'm pretty excited about that.
Is one of them for porn star?
No, you don't really have to interview for that, do you?
I don't know. I guess competition's tough.
Is it?
I don't know. I've never been in porn.
I do things the other people... I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah, good idea. We've been talking way too long. And
my mommy's in town.
Oh, yeah. Go spend time with your mom.
All right. And I can hear the kids all like running around. And she's like, "Hey, you guys." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's bedtime. I need to go out there and assist her." Because she cleaned my kitchen today while I was at work.
Oh, that's nice.
And then listen to me rant about that bitch.
Yeah, that's what moms are for.
Exactly. And she was like, "I'm really sorry." All right. And that's all we've got for now. Thanks to all our fabulous listeners who put up with us droning on week after week. If you enjoy our delightful bitchcraft, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and send us all of your monies on Patreon. John. You can find us on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. This week, your donations will go to a shovel and lime. No reason. If you want to tell the world how awful this episode was, join our Secret Soup Talk Facebook group.
It.
Yes! If you want to tell us to fuck off personally, you can send us an email at secularsouppodcast@gmail.com. Please rate and review us on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help us spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, tell your friends. As always, we will leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular Soup Creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.